What if the people who save you after a tragedy are the ones you should actually be afraid of? Stick around. This one gets dark, twisty, and painfully close to home. Hey, welcome back to Movie Recaps Hub Podcast. Today I'm taking you through a tense, slow-burn thriller about trust, manipulation, and survival. Spoilers ahead. So if you haven't seen it and want to, hit pause now. Alright, let's jump in. The movie opens with teenage Ruby Baker at the theater watching a horror movie with her friends. She's not super scared, they all get a laugh out of it. After the film, one friend wants to keep the night going, but Ruby says she needs to get home. She can't risk another fight with her parents. They think she's asleep. The next morning we see Ruby having breakfast with her parents and her brother Rhett before she heads to school. That night, instead of staying in, Ruby sneaks out. She's smoking, speeding, and ends up at a rave with her friends, joking about how much her parents trust her. When she sneaks back home, she spritzes on perfume to hide the smell and sees a police car outside. She panics. Did her parents call the cops on her? Inside, the officers break the worst news. Ruby's parents have been in a car accident and didn't make it. The shock is overwhelming. Ruby faints. At the funeral, Red is too upset to speak. That's when family friends Dr. Aaron Glass and Terry Glass step in and deliver a very touching speech. They look comforting, and Ruby and Red are vulnerable. Outside, Uncle Jack shows up and offers help. He explains he hasn't been around for 10 years because he and their mom grew apart and that he lives far away. Ruby thanks him but doesn't press the issue. Back at the house, the family lawyer Alvin Beglider pulls Ruby aside. He tells her she and Rhett will be taken in by the Glasses and that their parents left them enough money so they won't have to worry financially. He gives Ruby his card and leaves as Aaron and Terry come in to hug and comfort the kids. A few days later, Ruby and Rhett leave their empty house and move to Malibu with Aaron and Terry. They arrive at a huge house, mostly made of glass. Terry gives them a tour, introduces them to the housekeeper, and shows them the room they'll share for now. Neither Ruby nor Rhett are thrilled. That first evening, Aaron prepares fancy food the kids won't even touch, so they end up ordering pizza. At bedtime, Rhett is still up messing around and Ruby goes into the hallway to change. She gets the creepy feeling someone's watching her. She hears a noise and sees a shadow leaving. The next day, Ruby's new school is public instead of private. She introduces herself with a joke, but it gets awkward when classmates ask why she moved to Malibu. After school, they return to find gifts, a stack of video game consoles for Red and tons of clothes for Ruby. It all looks generous, but the vibe feels off. Ruby is on the phone with a friend complaining about how well-behaved the kids at her new school are and how freedom seems gone. No pagers, for example. Aaron overhears and later calls her into the kitchen, telling her to have a better attitude. Ruby realizes the Glasses are listening more than they let on. One night, Ruby wakes, thinking her mother is there to wake her. It was only a dream. Too upset to sleep, she changes into a bathing suit and goes for a midnight swim in the house pool. Terry sees her and, claiming he thought it was an intruder, helps her out. He hands her a towel but stares at her in a way that makes her uncomfortable. He bans night swimming because the glass lets all noise through and says he'll start setting the alarm at night. At school, Ruby watches a video about drunk driving that triggers thoughts about her parents' accident, leaving her rattled. Later, while searching for painkillers in the bathroom, Aaron finds Ruby and pretends to comfort her. Ruby lies and says it's because she has her period. Aaron takes her into her bathroom, where Ruby discovers a large stash of pharmaceuticals. Aaron gives her a pill, but the pill isn't a harmless painkiller. Ruby goes to bed feeling overly relaxed and spaced out. A couple of hours later, Ruby wakes to find Red asleep on the floor in front of the TV. She drags him to bed and hears Aaron and Terry arguing downstairs. When she looks, Terry quickly closes the curtains. Terry invites Ruby out to a premiere. She has homework, but he insists she'll have time. Instead, they go to dinner where he reminisces about meeting her parents. On the drive home, he drives fast and recklessly. After almost crashing, he leans toward her in a creepy way and then claims he was only fixing her seatbelt. Later, Ruby catches Aaron injecting herself. Worried, Ruby visits Beglider, the lawyer. He reminds her that if things go wrong with the Glasses, the siblings could become wards of the state. He also reveals their parents left them for $1 million. After Ruby leaves, Becklighter quietly makes a phone call. Ruby later witnesses Terry being threatened by loan sharks at his company. He's shoved against a glass wall. She hides in the repair shop and panics when she sees her parents' car there. Terry then picks her up and explains he fired the housekeeper for taking the kids out of Malibu without permission. Ruby sees Terry enter the house alarm code and secretly writes it down. She starts digging online and finds an article about her parents' accident that mentions the wrong car. So she emails Becklighter. Someone finishes her unfinished essay on the computer overnight. When she thanks Terry the next morning and he winks, it feels wrong. Social services gets involved. An inspection is set up, presented as routine. The glasses prepare everything meticulously. Separate rooms for the kids. Rhett's video games put away. Pharmaceuticals hidden. The inspector sees a tidy house and hears Rhett lie about reading at night. After the inspector leaves, Ruby digs through Rhett's box and finds 2 important documents. A letter from a private school returning a registration fee because the glasses said they wouldn't send their kids there. And a postcard from Uncle Jack asking them to call. Ruby tears off Uncle Jack's phone number and keeps it. She discovers her home internet has been cut off. Then she overhears a call. Terry talking to loan sharks and mentioning he's found a new personal piggy bank. Ruby uses phone codes to trace a number and saves it. Becklighter later informs her the BMW her parents drove the night of the accident belonged to Terry's company. Ruby starts putting the pieces together and suspects the crash could have been a trap set by Terry. At 4 a.m. Ruby decides to escape. She changes, grabs Rhett, and steals Terry's car keys after turning off the alarm with the code she learned. They drive out, but a mudslide has closed the highway. A cop stops them and asks for license and registration. Ruby doesn't have either. The glasses arrive and take them back home. On the drive back, Ruby confronts Terry, accusing him of killing their parents for the money. He denies it but looks shaken. Once back, the situation escalates. Terry pins Ruby to the floor. Aaron comes in and injects Ruby with a sedative, putting her to sleep. A month passes without contact from Ruby's friends. Becklighter tries to help. The bank has blocked Terry's guardianship account and an investigation is opened. Meanwhile, Aaron is stealing pharmaceuticals from the hospital by falsifying records. She's called in to see the medical director. Back at the house, Aaron is losing access to the drugs that help keep Ruby subdued. Aaron finds old home videos and watches one of her playing with young Ruby on the beach. Guilt overwhelms her. She overdoses and dies. The next morning, Ruby finds Aaron's body on the bed. Terry returns after getting morphine and hears Ruby on the phone giving an address. He goes after the kids. Ruby and Red hide, but Terry captures them and locks them in the basement. There, they find a window covered by a net and start working to tear it down with a wrench. Outside, Terry sabotages his Jaguar. Rhett manages to escape through the broken window and steals the keys. It seems like freedom is in reach, but Terry is one step ahead, only pretending to sleep. Becklighter arrives in person and confronts Terry. The bank blocked the guardianship account and the trustee is suspicious. Two loan sharks then pull up in a red car. They storm the house, say they were called by Terry's wife, but it was actually Ruby who made the call, and they demand the money. Becklighter tries to leave but is stabbed by the sharks. Terry is forced into a car with the shark. One shark drives the red car away and the other takes Terry in the Jaguar. Ruby had slashed the Volvo's tires earlier, and the sharks end up in the Jaguar. On the road, the Jaguar loses control, slams into the red car, and both crash. Ruby's quick thinking, cutting the tires, set a chain of events in motion that led to those crashes. Later, the siblings are walking hand in hand down the road when a police car stops and offers help. But more chaos follows. Terry knocks out an officer during an investigation, steals his gun, and pursues the kids. Ruby jumps into a nearby car and desperately looks for the keys. Terry is almost on them when she finally finds the keys, jumps in, and, in a split second, drives the car into Terry, killing him as he raises his weapon. The children climb out, embrace, and the police arrive to rescue them. The film closes with Ruby and Rhett visiting their parents' grave alongside Uncle Jack. He promises them they'll have a good life going forward. This one's a chilling study in control, how appearances can hide danger, and how fragile safety can feel when the people in power are the ones who betray you. The glass house itself is a great visual metaphor. Beautiful, open, but utterly exposing. The movie slowly peels back layers of generosity to reveal manipulation, addiction, and murder, and at its heart the siblings' resourcefulness and bond drive the story to a tense, satisfying payoff. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button, drop a comment with your favorite tense movie moment, and don't forget to subscribe to Movie Recaps Hub podcast for more weekly recaps like this one.